Hi everyone, my name is Nicole. Welcome to my channel, Nickels with Nicole. Today I am doing our debt confession video. I've seen other people do this as well, and I think it's a very good thing that people are doing them because so many people do not talk about money, and like it's a taboo, but we really should be talking about money. There are so many people that are in debt that it's almost like it's crazy. It's crazy to me that so many people are in debt, and listening to and researching the history of credit cards and debt and how we all have come to be this way. It's just incredible how it all happened. I think we should all be talking about it more so that the conversation keeps going, so that we can all make better choices and be more informed when we make those decisions. Part of that is the debt confession videos, and I'm so proud of all the people that have done this and have put it out there on the table for others to learn from. So that's what I'm doing here. In this video, we're going to do a debt confession. What was the breaking point that said like you need to change what you're doing? And then again, the actions we took and a quarter one update. I'm a little late on the quarter one update, but nevertheless, I have one. So let's go ahead and get started. Please stick around if you'd like to hear our debt confession. Okay, so let's flip over to here. This is the start of our journey. This started around September of 2022. This is our list of debts. It was actually a lot longer than this, and I'll tell you why in just a moment. So as you can see, we had a pretty nice size Southwest credit card balance here, a Bass Pro credit card. Don't ask me why we have this. It probably was just because we could, and probably because we rationalized and thought that we needed it. We have an Aqua Finance card. This actually has our water softener. No, we don't need it. Do we want it? Yes. Do we still want it? Yes. Yes, we do. We very much enjoy our water softener, so we're fine with this. This next one is a furniture store. It's specific to that store only. So we have our purple mattress on here. We have a couch, mattresses for the kids, like a washer and dryer. So these were things I feel like we needed. So we're fine with this balance too. Plus it does have a 0% interest, so it's not too bad. And then the Credit One card, Bank of America, a couple of Credit Union credit cards, Kohl's, Home Depot, Capital One, and then here's a biggie. We had a big truck. That truck was about $65,000. And we made payments on that every month, over $1,100. We also had a side-by-side that was $16K. We have this vacation package, timeshare, if you will, and people argue both sides about timeshares. We really do like our timeshare, and I don't think you could convince us otherwise. So I'm interested to know what people say about timeshares, but we really do like ours. And then here are some personal loans. Why I said earlier that our credit cards were like the list of our consumer debt was so much longer, and that's because of this personal loan too. We actually had a lot of little cards that we consolidated all into one, because the interest rate was lower doing this. So that's what those are. Otherwise, this list would be, probably this much longer. Then we also have our vehicle. It's a Genesis. We bought this from my mom, so she isn't charging us any interest, thankfully. And we did that in June, so our balance to her is about, just over $8,000 at that time. We also had an ATV with just about the same amount of balance, and a camper. So all of these added up together. I mean, you can see we were living a fun life. We had a lot of fun things to do with an ATV, a camper, a large truck to haul it around, a bunch of little credit cards that we just did mostly whatever we wanted with. That total balance ended up being almost $179,000. So $178,645.54. It was this time in September that my partner was like, hey, we got to do something. Something has to change. She was pretty worried, and if she's worried, that's pretty serious. It wasn't that we couldn't afford all of these minimum payments. I mean, technically, no, because that's why we're in this position. But with our paycheck, we can make these payments every month. So that's what we just rationalized. Like a lot of people do. Oh, I can afford the minimum payment on that credit card. I can afford that. But really we couldn't, because we were leaning on credit cards for variable expenses as well as things that we needed. So we had decisions to make. What were we going to do to turn this around? We had to do something that had the largest impact. What could we cut? The first thing we did was consolidated all the little cards because it was overwhelming. The list was just so long. This is already a pretty large list. Then we sold our truck for $65K. That immediately took off $65K. Then we sold our side-by-side. That took off another $16K. Then we knocked off these two little tiny credit cards right here, $121, $147, Kohl's and Home Depot, just to get those out of the way. So those are the things that we did at the get-go to get the ball rolling. We had to get rid of this truck because we needed this money in order to pay for variable expenses like groceries so that we weren't using credit cards anymore. We needed to get rid of the side-by-side. Along with getting rid of those two things, we got to lower our insurance and gas, like the money that it costs to keep up with those things. So those made a huge impact. When we got rid of those, then we had enough money freed up to then decide how much we were comfortable with for variable expenses like groceries and pet food and household items and things like that. When we did this, it freed up like $1,900 for us to work with, plus insurance premiums. So between October and December, so this is when all that happened. And so October and December, we didn't do any snowball payments or anything like that. We just made sure that we were comfortable during that time with the variable amount of money that we set for ourselves before we decided, okay, yes, we can commit to X amount of money as a snowball payment. So once we decided we were comfortable, and we had kind of decided that right away, like November, we were pretty comfortable with what we figured out. November, we had a little vacation. We went to go see my mom in New York. We actually saved up money, a little bit of money for that, so we had some money there that we would have otherwise used a credit card for. Okay. So come December, we'll flip this around. So in December, I just wrote these up here, the truck, the side-by-side, Home Depot, and the Kohl's card, just to be reminded that we did get rid of those. But those are paid for. We decided that we were comfortable with $835 as a snowball payment. So the Southwest balance, what my mom ended up doing for us very generously, she lent us, $10,000 to pay off the Southwest card because it had such a high interest rate. So she did that in December. We went to the bank, she paid off the card, and in January we were to start paying that one back and using this $835 of a snowball payment plus $335 for the regular Southwest payment. That combined was what we started out saving to pay her back. On this plan, we would have paid her back in October. So that was the original plan, was October. Then all these other cards, we were just going to pay the minimum payment because this is the one that we were focusing on because it had the highest interest rate. Now, since she paid it off, it was no longer there, but because she's my mom, we're obviously going to pay her back right away because that was the whole point, so she could help us save on interest. Okay, so when we initially started in September, October, we were thinking, okay, we're going to do the Debt Snowball because that's the one that I found on the internet. That's the one I researched. That's the only thing that came up for me in my searches. So we had been set up to do the Debt Snowball, but when I looked at all the numbers and it was going to take us so long, I felt like there's got to be a better way because I don't want to start with this small, tiny balance. I understand, like, for a lot of people, that makes a lot of sense because they want quick wins at the beginning, but we weren't motivated by that. I mean, we were initially, but what motivated us more, because we hated seeing how much interest was being taken from this payment that we were making every month. So we wanted to start with the one with the highest interest, which, as you know, or may not know, that's the Debt Avalanche. So we kind of actually did both, which is what was pretty cool about our situation. What we did was we took all the balances that we considered large and the ones that we considered small. Let me show you where that line is. I'll take this right here. This is our line right here. So notice this balance is $1,400 down to $202. We considered this as small. $10K down to $7,000. We considered this large. And so that's how we listed this. So we were going to tackle these with the snowball method. And we were tackling these the avalanche method. Oh, excuse my handwriting. Okay. How are we going to do both at the same time? Let me tell you. We were definitely going to focus on these because these were the larger balances. We were going to be, wasting a lot more money and interest if we didn't focus on these first. So this was our avalanche would be starting with this one. For these down here, we planned on just trying to maybe save money through our variable expenses or make some AFLAC claims that we still needed to make, or sell some things to get rid of these one at a time. So that was our plan in January. I should point out though, from September to January, we had a 47% reduction in our balance. So notice that it was $178,600 something, but now, because we did get rid of all these things, our balance was now $93,352.92. I think that's pretty incredible. I mean, yeah, we got rid of a big truck. We didn't really need it. We didn't really need the side-by-side. Yes, it was fun, but it was also, we spent a lot of money trying to keep up with that. We were really happy with this method, tackling it both ways, from the top and from the bottom. Felt really good to do that because as soon as we pay off this one, then we could roll that $30 payment up into this one and pay $60 to this one, etc. Just kind of roll up that snowball until it got here, but also at the same time, we made extra payments by selling things and by doing the AFLAC claims. Let's go look at January. Okay, so by the end of January, you can see up here we already paid $840 plus that $335 to the balance that we owe my mom for $10,000, brought it down to $88.20. And by the end of January, with all those tricks up our sleeves, we paid off those 5 credit card small balances. So we finished our snowball method. We rolled all that up. So all of these payments for February, 65, 25, 25, 30, 30, all of those minimum payments got rolled up into this snowball payment here. And so that became our new payment. And I call it the avalanche payment because that's the method we're following, but you could call it a snowball payment. It rolled up into that one, so it became even larger, which is really exciting. And now, by the end of January, you see we went down from, oh my gosh, I forgot that number already, from 93,352 to 82,474. It's pretty incredible. Okay, so our next plan, let's see what we have here. Oh, we also sold, oh, you can't read that anymore. We also sold this. Where'd it go? We sold this, the CF Moto. This is the ATV. So that $123 was rolled up into this as well. So, I mean, we didn't need the ATV anymore. We didn't have the side-by-side. We didn't have the truck. We couldn't move it anywhere. So it wasn't really doing anything for us. We rarely use those things anyways. So that's how we brought this down to 82.4. So in February, we brought it down to 79, and we didn't do anything extra special in February. We didn't do anything extra special in February, but because we made the avalanche payment larger, since we made our debt avalanche payment larger because we rolled up the CF Moto and all of these into this is now our payment, $1,245 plus the $335. So when this gets finished being paid off, then we get to roll it into the next thing. I think it was in February we sold our camper. Sold our camper to my mother-in-law. So she now makes this payment. And so we are saving that, and it's going to roll up into this also. So as you can see, because this is getting larger, we're going to pay off my mom sooner than October. Because remember, the original plan was October. We were still trying to come up with other things too, other ways to pay off our debt also. So we have some things in our garage that we can sell. We already sold our piano keyboard. We're trying to sell our rock band. I'm still working on these other things, but we have things that we can sell to help. So now, let me give you an update, the quarter 1 update. Let's just use this marker. Okay. For Southwest ending balance at this point at the end of quarter 1 is $6,675. Oh, this is what else we did. Okay, I forgot about this. So that's the other thing that was going to help us. Let's see. So this, don't catch on fire. This Bass Pro card and this blue green, we consolidated this into a loan because the interest rates were still pretty high on those. That's $16,000 plus 5.3. So we got a $22,000 loan with a lower interest rate, and that's what this is over here. So those two have disappeared. So this is blue green and Bass Pro, and that payment is $510. It's a little bit more than those other two, but we made it work. We just increased how much we pay on those, so it's good. But the ending balance, we just started paying this in March. So this is our first payment. So now our balance in March at the end of quarter one is $21,772.67. Our Aqua Finance is $7,318.11. My personal loan number 2, all those little consolidated cards, $10,362.10. CF Moto is sold. The camper, I'm still tracking it on here because my mother-in-law took over the payments, so it's still in our name. But that balance is $9,185. And then personal loan number 2 is $7,937.61. The Genesis has a balance $7,014.96. The furniture store card has a balance of $929.71. So the total, let's add this up real quick. $76,111.01. Okay, that from the previous month was $79,051, and now this month. So overall, I like to see our total debt reduction. So okay, looks like that is a 57% total reduction. That is where we have ended at the end of quarter one. So if anyone could have learned anything from that, I was pretty excited about how we did let me show you again. I was pretty excited about how we set things up here. This is just another way that it might work for someone else to, take all of your balances and divide them up between small and large balances, and then within the large balance, order them from largest interest rate, and within the small balances, order them from, pay them off in order by smallest balance to highest balance. But that worked for us, and we got that paid off in the first month just by, again, selling things and doing some claims, like affluent claims or whatever. That's that confession. I know I didn't have a lot of, what did we do with all these things? Because honestly, I can't remember what was on all these credit cards. Just know that we leaned on credit cards for our variable expenses, for things that we needed and for things that we wanted. That is our debt confession. At the end of April, here in a couple days, I will close out our debt balances for April and give you an update about where we are. I'll upload that as a YouTube short and as an Instagram reel. But yeah, that's all I got. All right, bye for now.